was telling that he was a special secretary of examination. He made this phone call to the governor of the jail, and he wanted to tell that there was a correction in that question paper, and somebody had forgotten to put the correction slip in the question paper. So, and that person was requesting the governor of the jail whether he could tell this correction to the ones who was appearing in this examination. Up to these, we completed last day. Now, I'm starting from page number 78, towards the middle of page number 78 here, the last line. Yes, of course, I will put you straight through the to Mr. Jackson in doing all the line a minute. And the governor told to that person who had called the secretary with special responsibility from the examination board, he actually made this phone call to the governor of the jail, and the governor told, okay, no problem, I will forwarding your phone call to Mr. Jackson. Mr. Jackson is a senior prison officer, and he was in the charge of accomplishing this examination smoothly. So here the governor told this the person with special secretary, now the examination board secretary with special responsibility, that he told to that person that I am forwarding your phone call to Mr. Jackson. You just tell this to Mr. Jackson, and Mr. Jackson, who was in that charge of accomplishing this examination, he would convey these to Evans, who was appearing in the examination. Now, what the governor was thinking, was this the sort of thing the governor had feared? Was the phone call a fake, some signal, some secret message? Now the governor was thinking. From the examination center, this phone call came, and the phone call was demanding that there was a correction in the question paper. So was it a signal? Was it a plan? Was it a fake call? And he was thinking, really had the call come from examination board? This whole question had gathered into the governor's mind, because the governor knew it was Evans who had already escaped thrice from the jail. So nobody wanted to take any chance with Evans. So the governor was thinking that really, was it a fake call and all this? But he could check on that immediately. He dialed the number of the examinations board, but he heard only the staccato blips of a line engaged. Now immediately he had the phone number of the examination board. So whether it was a fake call or not, the governor could easily actually understand. So governor immediately made a phone call of that number of examination board, and he got a dialed number, and he heard only the staccato. What is the meaning of staccato? Here staccato means each sound separated from other. Each sound separated from other. Blips means a short high-pitched sound. A short high-pitched sound. We know, we all accustomed that which line, suppose if you make a phone call to a number and the number is busy, then we got these are the sound we get. So here also this is known as staccato. Staccato, as I told, that each sound separated from other, and blips means a short high-pitched sound. So actually the governor heard this staccato sound of line engaged. But then the line was engaged, wasn't it? Yes, not very intelligent that. And now the governor was assured, oh, the line was engaged. Means it was true that the phone call had come from the examination board, because he was actually, after taking the receiver, after receiving that phone, he again made a phone call to that examination board, and he got engaged, and he got the line engaged. It means really the phone really had come from that examination board. Now, 2 minutes later, he heard some whispered communications in the cell, and then McClary's broad Scots voice. And 2 minutes later, because the governor could listen anything what would be spoken in that cell, because in that cell a microphone was installed, and the governor could listen it sitting in his chamber. So after 2 minutes later, because the governor had forwarded the call to Mr. Jackson, and Jackson would actually convey these to McClary, and then Jackson had told this to McClary, and McClary was telling this with a broad accent to the examinee that there was a correction in that slip. That here the governor could listen what McClary was telling in the cell to Evans. Will you please stop writing a while, Mr. Evans, and listen carefully. That McClary was telling this. Governor could listen it through that microphone because a microphone was installed in that in Evans's cell, where Evans was appearing in that examination. Will you please stop writing a while, Mr. Evans, and listen carefully. Candidates offering German 0 to 1. Dash 1 should note the following correction. Now the governor could listen that McClary was telling the correction to Evans. On page 3, line 15, the fourth word should read goldenen, not goldeny. Now the correction was in the, I'm telling this might be very important, that where was the first correction? MCQ, it might come. On page 3, line 15, what was the correction? That it was printed as goldeny, but it should be goldenen. And the whole phrase will therefore read Jom goldenen launen, not Jom goldeny laven. I will repeat that. So the correction was from goldeny to goldenen. Okay. The governor listened and smiled. He had taken German in the sixth form himself, and he remembered all about the agreements of adjectives. Now, these are actually the part of German grammar, and the governor, he had he had that German subject when he was in class 6, so he could realize, and he was smiling. He realized that what was the wrong over there, what was the problem over there, and actually it was all related with the German adjective that he realized. And so did McClary. By the sound of things, for the minister's pronunciation was most impressive, and McClary's pronunciation was very impressive. It actually, the governor was very much moved with the pronunciation of McClary. But what about Evans? No, the governor was thinking about it. What about Evans? He probably didn't know what an adjective was, because actually the governor knew that Evans was, though Evans was appearing in the examination, but there was not a single chance of cracking this examination, that Evans could crack the examination. So actually the governor was thinking that probably Evans could not understand what adjective was, and so there was nothing, nothing would change in Evans's understanding, that whatever it would be goldeny, it would be goldenen. He could not understand all this. The phone rang again, the magistrate's court, and then the phone rang again, the magistrate court. They needed a prison van and a couple of prison officers. A Rembrandt case. Rembrandt means sending a criminal to legal court. Okay. Rembrandt means immediately he got, and this is different phone. He got a phone call from magistrate court, because they need a prison van and a couple of prison officers, because another criminal will be sent to this prison. Another criminal will be sent to this prison. So the governor received such a phone. This is Rembrandt case. Rembrandt means sending a criminal in a legal custody. And within 2 minutes, the governor was wondering about that could be a hoax. He told himself not to be so silly. His imagination was beginning to run rot. And after 2 minutes, wax means bluff, cheating. The governor realized, that could be a cheating. He realized, and he told himself not to be so silly. His imagination was beginning to run riot. Now his imagination, he had something in his mind when that phone call came, and his imagination gone riot means he was so much puzzled. He was thinking, what has happened? Evans. For the first quarter of an hour, Stephens had dutifully peeped through the peephole at intervals of 1 minute or so, and after that, every 2 minutes. Now, we know that when the examination started, Stephens, the junior prison officer, he was inside the cell, standing by the side of Evans. But Evans objected, and the governor ordered Jackson to take Stephens out of that room. So now, from then on, Stephens, the junior prison officer, he was standing outside the cell where Evans was appearing in the examination, and through the peephole, with the 1 minute interval, he was looking into what was going on. Every 1 minute, he was looking into what was going on. For the first quarter of an hour, and then after 2 minutes interval, he kept on looking through that peephole what was going on there. At 10 past 45 a.m., don't forget the examination was started at 9:25. Everything was still all right as he looked through the peephole once more. It took 4 or 5 seconds, no more. What was the point? It was only more or less the same. Evans, his pen between his lips, sat staring straight in front of him towards the door, seeking, it seemed, some sorely needed inspiration from somewhere. Now, at 10:45, again, Stephens saw through that peephole, and he saw almost the same. Evans was sitting, looking at the door with the pen between his teeth, and as if he was looking for any inspiration, as if he would get some inspiration, then he would start writing. Evans did not write a single word, because all the time that after 1 minute of interval, when Stephens actually peeped into that soul, every time he saw the same side, that Evans was sitting with his pen in between his teeth and looking straight towards the door. And opposite him, McCleary, seated slightly askew from the table now, his face in semi-profile, his hair, as Stephens has noticed earlier, amateurishly clipped pretty closely to the scalp, his eyes behind the pebble lenses, peering short-sightedly at the church chimes. And he saw that McCleary, from his from that peephole, his face was in semi-profile, means his whole face could not be seen through that hole. And Stephens could see that ear of McCleary. He had, as Stephens had noticed earlier, amateurishly clipped pretty close to the scalp. Means it was pretty close to the scalp. This is the scalp. The skin of that under this hair is known as scalp. So it is pretty close to the scalp. Means it was cut in a little way, very short, the hair of McCleary. And his eyes behind the pebble lenses. Pebble means thick and convex. The word pebble means thick and convex. Lenses, peering short-sightedly at church times. And he was looking at his newspaper. So the examinee was sitting with the pen between his teeth, and the invigilator was reading newspaper, the church time. His right index finger hooked beneath the narrow clerical collar. Right index finger, this is the right index finger. It was hooked like this, the clerical collar, just collar like this, and the fingers of the left hand, and the fingers of the left, something like this. The nails meticulously manicured, slowly stroking the short black beard. And the fingers of the left hand, the nails meticulously manicured. The fingers of the left hand, the nails was meticulously cut, manicured, and slowly stroking the short black beard. And he was having a black beard. He was just stroking his black beard. So this was the gesture of McCleary, the invigilator. At 10:50 a.m., the receiver crackled to life, and the governor realized he had almost forgotten Evans for a few minutes. At 10:50 a.m., again the receiver crackled, and the governor actually was thinking about anything else. So now the governor realized, oh, Evans was giving exam. Now the governor could see Evans was asking, please sir, Evans, please sir, we at first whispered, please sir, and then please sir, Evans, would you mind if I put a blanket around me shoulder, sir? It's a bit pranky in here, isn't it? As if Evans was asking permission from Stephens or even from McCleary to get his blanket, because he wanted to wrap up his blanket around himself, because he was thinking, I'm feeling cold. Here, pranky means cold. Now, Evans, now silence. There was one on the bunk here, sir. He told, sir, there is one in the bunk, so I'm having a blanket. I want to wrap it around myself because I'm feeling cold. McCleary, be quick about it. And the governor heard McCleary had given the permission. Be quick about it. Okay, McCleary had permitted him to get his blanket and wrap around him. Up to this next day, we will continue where we are living. I told you, it's very interesting, going to be more and more interesting. And thank you very much for joining my class.